Cool. So I'm gonna be doing an analysis of Louis Paulsen versus Paul Morphy. This is a 1857 First American Chess Congress. So Louis Paulsen has the white pieces and he opens with e4. Morphy responds with e5, knight f3, knight c6, and we go into the four knights. The Spanish four knights, the classical reply. And after castles, Paulsen played knight takes e5, and the main idea of this move is just that after it takes, you can play d4, forking the bishop and the knight. So Morphy just played rook e8 and sacrificed the e-pawn. And then in this position, knight takes e4 doesn't work. After d takes and bishop c4. Because with the bishop on c4, white has this move, bishop takes f7. Because after king takes f7 and knight takes e4, then there is no rook takes e4 because of queen f3 forking the king and the rook. So here you would just have whatever black would play. He would move the bishop back or something like that. Then white would just play d3 and get his pieces out and just have a better position. I mean, he's up a pawn and has a better pawn structure on both sides of the board with a 3-on-2. So Morphy played b5 first, kicking the bishop back. And after bishop e2, knight takes e4, knight takes e4, rook takes e4, and bishop f3. Obvious move, rook c6. Rook e6, my bad, guarding the c6 pawn. Paulsen should have played d4. He played c3, preparing d4, but it's just too slow. If you play d4 first, then you actually you get a much better position than what happened in the game after queen takes d4 and bishop e3. Then not that move. Then queen takes d1, rook takes d1. Then you have to guard the back rank mate. So you could play this move, which is kind of passive, or you could just play bishop e7, which I'm pretty sure is the better move. And you don't want to drop the c6 pawn, which would have been a much better continuation for white. But instead, Paulsen played c3, allowing queen d3, stopping d4. So he started expanding on the queen side instead with b4 and bishop b6. A4 was played, b takes a4, queen takes a4. And the best move here is bishop b7. I mean, you develop the bishop while still stopping queen a6, which I think is the main point of bishop a7. Morphy played bishop d7, which bishop a7 is the engine move. But in the game, they both serve the same purpose of just letting the rook out. So bishop d7 and rook h2. I don't really understand rook h2 at all. I don't know what Paulsen was thinking. But after rook e8, Paulsen played queen a8 here. And it took Morphy 12 minutes to find his next move. But that was probably just to make sure he had a forced win in every variation. And it takes the engine depth 46 to find it. So I'll give you all a chance to pause the video and see if you want to guess the move. Okay. If you found it, congratulations. You are an excellent tactical player. And for everyone that was just along for the show, the move is queen takes f3. If you don't sacrifice the queen, then, I mean, white is just attacking you. I meant white. Black is just... excuse me. Black is just attacking you, and I mean your bishop is still terrible. You're down a whole piece. That's just unplayable. So Paulsen took the queen, and after Rook G6 check, King H1, and Bishop H3, it's really easy to slip up here. Like if you play Rook G1, then this is just a easy mate in 3. After Rook takes, King takes, and Rook E1, it would be mate, but the queen can block. So after Rook takes, it's mate. So Paulsen didn't play that. He played Rook D4 instead. I meant Rook D4. Rook D1 instead. So Morphy played check, King G1, Bishop F3 check, King F1, and now it's actually a forced checkmate after Rook G2. But Morphy went for the more beautiful win. He walked the king back around one more time and played Bishop takes F2 with the G1 square now covered. It's unstoppable, mate. Except for the exception, Queen F1. So you have to give the queen back, and now your position is just terrible. And you can't move anything. You can't move your pawn. You can't get your bishop out. So Paulsen played Rook A1, and Morphy even invited the discovery. And after D4, he just played Bishop E3. And the engine here actually gives Rook F2. It's funny, just the stalling move. But it doesn't matter what white plays. If you capture the bishop, for example, it's just mate in 2. Because the rook on F1 stops the king from running away. So Paulsen just resigned after Bishop E3. So yeah, so pretty nice game, pretty impressive play. Especially for 2 players from the 1800s.